welcome to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danika Foley. Along with me, we have Mayor Duval Arthur, who's the mayor of the town of Berwick. And this is interesting. The first thing I want to start off with is the food truck park. I've been kind of hearing that term passed around a lot, and I believe the person behind it is Colleen Askew, Councilwoman Colleen Askew. I know that she has been kind of promoting and pushing and asking, advising for individuals to step forward and let's do a food truck park. And now it has come to pass. You have an area that you're going to, that's proposed for the food truck park. But question, only 4 spots. That's going to be picked up very quickly.
Well, Colleen is our economic development coordinator. She's a councilman, but that's her forte is, economic development. And that's the reason why she's out there knocking on doors. She's trying to do all kinds of things for our town to get it going. The food truck thing is just a wonderful idea. And, we've had a lot of success with those food trucks. For our Lighthouse Festival, we had 4 or 5 food trucks that were there. And let me tell you something, all 5 of them sold out every day that they had the Lighthouse Festival. It was amazing that people, they like getting something outside where they can sit down on a bench at a table, listen to music. Yeah. So part of the thing about the food truck park is we're putting a pavilion there for entertainment, so that when they have the food trucks out there, we're going to try to provide entertainment for people to go out there, eat, listen to a little music, and just, get out, so to speak. Right now, we're set for 4. Right. Okay? But we have room, we've got some other property that, depending upon these 4 and see how it goes, we'll probably develop the others and put that set up also.
Tell me the location. Where are we looking, and will it be covered?
The area is not covered. It's actually on the protected side of the levee. Okay, it's on 1st Street. There's a grassy area. It's really pretty. It's right there by the seawall. It's behind the Lighthouse Lounge in the back of it. We own a big piece of property there, and we're going to develop all of it for this food truck park. Yeah. And we think it'll get an interest down there. I don't know how many days a week they're going to do it. We haven't worked out all the particulars on it, but I agree with your assumption that with only 4 trucks, we're going to probably have a fight on our hands on, well, I was here first, and that kind of stuff.
First come, first serve.
We're going to have to do some contracts with people and make sure that we have it covered for all the times that we have it open. We want to make sure we cover that.
Well, that's awesome to know that Berwick actually has economic development growing as far as restaurants and places for folks to eat. Being from South Louisiana, we love to eat. And we love our options.
That's right.
So that's going to be awesome for you guys. Let's move on to something else, because there's a lot going on in Berwick I think folks need to be aware about. Hurricane Ida. I mean, we were definitely spared. I'm sure a few homeowners and some business owners received some damage, but we were spared overall. However, gas was crazy, trying to get gas because of our neighbors, and also residents as well, trying to get gas after the storm, before the storm, but definitely after the storm. And Stasiones, and I'll just call out that particular business, had the right idea. I was there at one point. They had a line, like it was formation. Everybody got in formation, and it moved along beautifully. But of course, you got to pay those individuals. And who I'm speaking about are the law enforcement. Law enforcement was out there, and they were kind of keeping everyone orderly and lined up. But FEMA is going to reimburse you.
They are. We applied to FEMA because it was really a chaos out there. It really was. Morgan City experienced the same problems that we had. And people were coming from Houma, from Thibodaux, because there was no gas in those areas. So they were coming over here to fill up. we wanted to help those people. We did, honestly. And we put police officers over there, and we were paying for them, okay? The police department was. To have them at those, we had them at all the gas stations in Berwick. And we didn't just single out one. We had all of our gas stations covered.
Yeah.
And
we're going to talk just a little bit more about it because we do have to take a break, but we'll come back because there's actually one or two individuals you want to kind of give a quick little shout out for their help during this process. Please come on back right here on The Voice of the Coast with yours truly. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danika Long, and we're talking about FEMA reimbursing the town of Berwick, and that's awesome that they would do that. You don't typically hear that, at least I don't typically hear that, but I will say at that particular gas station, Stazione's in Berwick, it moved beautifully. I was in that line at least maybe once or twice, and the wait time was little to nil, especially with the fact that people were coming in and it was just so hard, it's such a challenge to get gas.
Right. Well, at a time like that, Danica, it's you know, they've experienced a big loss of their homes. They probably don't have air conditioning, don't have electricity at their homes, so these people are already suffering. And they don't have any gas stations open. They got to come all the way to Morgan City or Berwick just to get fuel so that they can either go to work or fix up their house. So it was a big ordeal. But we felt like it was very important to provide police protection at those locations. And look, some places we heard about fights and things they had because people said they got cut in the line or whatever. We never had that problem. We had law enforcement there that helped people get in line. Let me tell you something. We had people actually, one person in particular I remember because he gave me a bottle of water, Woodrow Parker, you know, local young man from Morgan City, had a big ice chest in the back of his truck. He came over there and walked from car to car with bottles of water because people, you know, tempers were short, and, you know, and for what have you. And he gave out water. And I thought it was nice of him.
And I like to just say this just about St. Mary Parish. I think one thing about our area, we are pretty family friendly. You know, we will definitely help a stranger in need.
That's
I think
right.
We're one of the last places that can happen and will happen. But I want to keep going because there's a lot to cover.
Right.
Let's talk about this lighthouse. Now, when I first moved to this area, there was Ship Shoal Lighthouse, and it's kind of like a mile marker off out into, where is it located exactly?
In the Gulf of Mexico.
In the Gulf, right.
Yeah, right.
And it belongs to Berwick.
Right.
There's some history about that. We don't have to get into it right now.
Right.
But there's already the lighthouse that is iconic. Everyone knows about the Everett
Eugene
Berry.
Island,
Eugene Island one. It's already there, the big red lighthouse.
Right.
But you're going to get another one.
Right.
You're going to have two lighthouses
sitting
in Berwick.
That's
and that's going to do something. You guys are going to be spotlighted nationally.
Absolutely. I just feel like we'll see a lot of national recognition for that, and hopefully some tourist, you know, trade will come into town and stay at our local motels and eat in some of our restaurants, and we'll make, you know, we'll make the economy go up a little bit.
When I hear about lighthouses, a lot of times I think about like up north Maine, you know, places like that. But it would be nice, you know, for some, especially here at home, to have a lighthouse museum. And there's going to be a company, right? Tell us about the company that's going to actually move it, because I think that's been the holdup.
Well, Berry Brothers, who had initially moved the first lighthouse, has been working with us on this, trying to help us in doing this, because it's a costly endeavor to do this, okay? And they've donated all of that, their work and what their professional advice and consulting and things of that nature that I don't know anything about moving a lighthouse. You know, so they've been negotiating with a heavy lift company to try to make plans to pick up the whole lighthouse, not take it apart, but just pick it up as it is and bring it in so that we can set it up.
So is it bigger or smaller than the one that's already there?
It's much bigger. The one that's over there right now is about 40 feet tall. This one is 134
Oh
feet
my
tall.
gosh.
So it's over twice the height of the existing.
And they're going to pick that thing up and bring it as
Right.
is, not disassemble it.
Right.
Wow. What shape is it in?
It's in pretty good shape now.
Okay.
It looks kind of unusual because it's round. You know, the lighthouse we have is square looking. This one is looks like a flying saucer. You
Come
know?
on.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Can't wait to see that. I'm glad you kind of give us a scale of what that
Right.
looks like. So you know the one that's there, it's already huge.
Right.
And to have this one, right, and you'll be able to see it.
That-
So are they going to be functioning before we go to break? Will they function?
Well, once we feel like the new one will be there, we're going to put some money into them becoming functional lighthouses that have lights in them, that have a horn in them, foghorn and lights.
All right, thank you so much. We're going to break. Come on back. We will definitely try to get as much done in the next 2 segments. Join us later. All right, welcome back. Danika Long, I'm your host. We also have Mayor Duval Arthur, and we're going to talk pretty quickly. We've got 2 more segments to go. Lots of things happening in Berwick.
Yeah.
For instance, we talked about the lighthouse, the Ship Shoal Lighthouse, which
Right.
will be moved out of the Gulf of Mexico and placed next to the Everett Berry Lighthouse, which is
Park.
already there.
Right.
And it's going to be a lighthouse park.
Right.
And it's so big, 134 feet
Right.
compared to the one that's already there, which is huge in itself, only 40 feet. So if you
Right.
could just imagine, and that's a big feat to
Big.
have them move it all in one piece.
Right.
But in addition to that, you're going to have a marine museum, which is going to be located in the Brown House, which is already there.
Right. The Brown House is going to host this marine museum. We've got some artifacts that we've been picking up, different for involving the marine industry, things like compasses, old steering wheels for
Okay.
ships and things like that. And we're going to give that to the lighthouse, to the Brown House, and we're building a building there to accommodate these artifacts, as well as it will be a dual purpose building. We'll also have it listed as being a distribution center for if we have a pandemic. We're going
Okay.
to use it for that. But it's primarily going to be used as a museum.
So was that your brainchild, being that you were also
Right.
with Homeland Security,
Right.
you were in the military, so
We found a way
Yeah.
to use those funds to benefit our town.
awesome. Let's talk now about some projects, some infrastructure projects.
Right.
We have the sewer line projects, particularly. I mean, you have at least 3. So
Right.
there's the sewer line rehab on Fairview, and
Yeah.
that's going to run from, is that Renwick all the way down towards Cameron?
Right.
And
that
that's a
whole-
big deal.
Right. It's going to provide a gravity-fed sewer line. Okay, right now we have what they call force main, which is pumping the stuff around till it gets to a lift station. Once it gets to a lift station, then it starts getting pumped going over to Patterson, to the area where they take care of the sewage
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I mean, it's much more convenient, and it's,
Oh, it absolutely
oh yeah, it
will.
just kind of will.
Well, there
do
won't
the-
be any pumps to break.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
gravity fed, so the sewage will run, it goes into the
Yep.
lift station, and from there it gets pumped on over to the sewer treatment facility.
One thing that is growing, like that has been growing for a very long time, and that's housing.
Yep.
I mean, there's another subdivision, Southern Oaks, which is,
Right.
if you have driven down the road there, you would see off to your, I guess if you're going, is that west?
Going west
Yes,
before
off
you
to
get
your
to the
left, to the
Civic
Civic
Center.
Center. That land has now been pretty much leveled, and
Right.
I understand that there's now a slab that has been poured. So the sewer line and the gas line and the water lines have all been, they're
They're
run now.
95% complete right now.
Okay, yes. So new subdivision. Do we know anything about what's the specs on this
Well,
place?
that's actually got, I think there are 7 lots that they have, and these are big lots.
These are
Now,
gonna
they're
be
about-
huge
yeah,
homes, huh?
they're like 5 acres each one, so they're big lots.
Okay,
And so they're going to probably be some big houses go
Yeah.
on those lots.
so just 5 lots.
Yeah, it'd be something to see. It'll be a nice, start for the
Oh
Civic
yeah,
Center.
awesome. Okay, and then of course you had some property that was donated to the city from, it's on
Yes.
what, 3rd and Sinclair, and you're
Right.
going to also put a sewer lift station there.
Right. We have an existing sewer lift station there. It's across the street, but it is so old, and we're constantly repairing it. So rather than just keep throwing money down into that sewer,
The drain, okay.
we're gonna put a new one in there, and it'll be something that we won't have to fool with, and it'll more than take care of all of our sewer needs for River Road, 3rd Street, Pacific, all that area. Be able to provide that sewer lift station to pump the sewer out.
Okay. So the whole town will be pretty much linked and ready to roll.
We're
gravity
sewer
fed.
ready.
Yeah,
We're sewer ready. That's for
Awesome.
sure.
Sounds good. This is I think one of our best interviews. I mean, just good things all around. Well, we've got much more to cover, so come on back right here on The Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Again, I'm your host, Danika. Along with me, we have Mayor Duval Arthur. Let's get right back into it. Again, I told you this is probably one of my favorite interviews. I mean, at every go, we've got nothing but good stuff. I mean, this is good stuff that's coming out of Berwick. One thing I would love to talk about, it was brought up in some prior interviews, the mural. There were a couple of artists that submitted artwork. And again, I believe this is the brainchild of Councilwoman Colleen Askew. And I'm a big fan of, just nice artwork, beautiful colors, because it's attractive. And that's
Right.
kind of what's trending too. I mean, if you build it or you draw it, they will come.
That's right.
So there are about 6 or 7 artists that submitted artwork. I haven't heard anything more about it. So are you guys moving forward with the mural? And have you chosen?
Well, there were 10 murals that
10, okay.
that we had an opportunity to choose from, and they were all so nice. I would not have wanted that job to pick that. I really didn't. And like I say, it's just our area. It's a sign of our area. The river, St. Mary XL, and when they did they talked about your area and what do you have going for you. They all said the same thing, that river. And that's why we focus most of our attention on doing things along the riverfront, because that's what they told us that would be in our best interest to do. And like I say, we're gonna get that mural painted. We just got the paperwork in from the state of Louisiana granting us permission to paint the mural. They even gave us some financial assistance to get us started on that. So we're excited about that.
Okay.
Also along the underneath the bridge area, we're started the foundation work on 3 pickleball courts. So we're extremely excited about that. Pickleball is big in Berwick, primarily at the Berwick Civic Center, but they've shown an interest in wanting to have some pickleball courts outdoors where they can play. And like at night, they will be lighted courts, and they'll be able to go out there and play pickleball, whether it's daytime or nighttime.
Awesome. So your downtown area is going to be pretty lively. You're going to have
It
the
is.
pickleball, the mural, you have the food truck
Yeah.
park, and that's on the protected side. Now on the unprotected side, closest to the water, you also have some other pavilions as well. So
That's right.
you can take your choose,
That's right.
you have choices, which is good. New landscape at Town Hall, but
Yep.
in that landscape, you're also going to be putting a monument, which is going to honor the military veterans.
Right. We're putting a new flagpole. We're just leveled the area that was there before, and we had some things that were in the way. We moved them. We've ordered the flagpole. It's complete. They're painting it right now, and they're going to have it delivered and installed. We'll have a ceremony when we do that. Also, there will be a monument there honoring the veterans. Veterans it's extremely important to me that we support our veterans, and that's going to be something that we're going to do for our veterans.
Was this from a grant of some sort? I mean, where you get the funding?
We had some money that from our budget that FEMA that paid us for some other things that we had done involved in the housing the people at the Civic Center. And we got reimbursed for that. It didn't cost us that much money to do what we did, but we got reimbursed for it, and we could take that money and we could do some other things with it. It didn't take that much money to do this, so that's what we did it with some of those funds.
Okay. Well, you guys, again, moving and grooving. I mean, you just did, you're 100% complete on your roof with Town Hall, and there's still some monies left over where you're going to do some interior work. You're going to work on administrative office, have a walk-up window. And also, I wish I had this some years ago when we were actually doing news, a PA system for the council room. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming out here. As always, it is a pleasure to have you here, and thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you guys next time.